Good day, everyone. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Ned's Healing Sanctuary. Before we get started, I just wanted to reiterate that if I've said anything in any of the previous episodes, or if I say anything in this one that conflicts with your personal beliefs, don't worry about it. The main thing we're trying to convey here is just making sure that you're thinking positively and then also acting positively and feeling positively as a result, and then always coming from a place of love. Okay, so those are the main topics that we want everybody to adopt. Everything else is secondary right now, so don't worry about it, and just keep following the path. All right. So today we're going to talk about letting go of trying to control outcomes in our lives. But before we get into that topic, let's do a review of what we've learned so far. So as I just mentioned, the gist of what I'm trying to communicate is the importance of positivity in your thoughts, your actions, and your emotions. Okay. The reason why that's so important is because of a universal law called the law of attraction. And what that states is that whatever you focus on in your thoughts or your actions or whatever you feel is what is put out to the universe as a prayer for it to reciprocate back to you the same thing. All right. So if you're dwelling in the negative, and just to be clear, negative would be like jealousy, anger, maybe anxiety, fear, all of those negative emotions, stress, um, those are dragging you down, holding you back. Okay. And they're not coming from a place of love, from your higher self. They're coming from this guy, the ego, the conscious mind, the devil. Okay. So we need to try to focus on the positive and stay positive. And an example of a positive thought, let's start with negative. So an example of a negative thought is, let's say you get assigned a task to do at work and it's new to you. So you might react like this. Geez, I don't know why they assigned that to me. I don't have any experience with this. I'm not the best person for this. Man, I can't believe they did that. So that's a negative thought or a series of them. Another way you could react to that is, so this is the first time they assigned me that. Um, I don't have a lot of experience with it, but I think I could learn a lot. I have to do some research and try to figure things out. So I'm going to give it my best shot. And if I get stuck, I'll just ask for help. So that's a series of positive thoughts or a positive reaction to that. So that's what we're trying to do. Catch the negative, flip it to a positive. Okay. And this is a process. It could take days, weeks, months, or longer, depending on how ingrained negative thinking is in you. All right. So just be real about it, be serious about it, and try to change the way you think. Okay. The other thing we want to stress is that if you act out of love, you can't go wrong. You don't even have to ask if it's the right thing to do. You know it is because God is love, right? So you're acting the way God would act. And we are children of God. So we should act the same way, right? And we're also really harsh on ourselves, more than we should be. All right. And that's not a good thing. So we need to be able to love and forgive ourselves. We're here to learn. We have a lot of opportunities to learn, not just one, many, many, many every day. So if you miss an opportunity, you don't react the way you want, that's okay. Learn from it, process it, release it, and be ready for the next time that situation comes up. All right? Don't stress about it. So, we're acting out of love, thinking positively, and loving and forgiving yourself are all aligning with your higher self, with God, with your higher power. Okay? And when you do that, then you reduce the amount of guilt and stress that you accrue. All right. So this is all going to lead to a happier and healthier life, which is what I'm all about. And so if you are able to do this over the long haul, years, then you're going to be able to resolve past karma and reduce the amount of new karma you're incurring, drastically reduce it. So let's think of karma as, let's say you have a jar full of stones. That's your karma jar. And kind of like your phone, you take it everywhere. never leaves your side. Okay. But better than your phone, you take it from lifetime to lifetime, which you don't do that with your phone. If you do figure out a way to do that, though, let me know. Um, so the idea is you're walking around, and as we've said in a past episode, every interaction is a chance to remove karma. So if you act according to your higher self, right, go in with an open mind, with an open heart, and you react the way you want with love towards someone or yourself, then you've probably removed karma. And when you do that, you take a stone out of the jar and you throw it onto the um, outside. Okay. So if you keep doing that, you act the right way, think the right way, feel the right way out of love, then eventually your karma jar is going to empty. And when that happens, that's where we are, where we have reached a very high vibrational frequency because we're thinking positively. And that's a very high level versus low for the negative thinking and acting. And this allows you to eventually understand who you are and understand your true power and what you're capable of. Right now, we don't know that. Okay. Because there's like a veil over us with all this negativity that we have going on. So the karma jar, you want to empty it. That will remove any ties that you have to this world. Okay. You'll be free at that point to move on. Okay. And if you react in a way that is not in keeping with your higher self, then you have to pick up a stone from the ground and put it in your karma jar. Okay. And it's really as simple as that. We're trying to empty the karma jar. And it's not something that can be done in a day or a month or even maybe 5 years or 10 years. You could do it over a lifetime, maybe, depending on how close you are now. You can probably tell a little bit based on how your thoughts go. If you're mostly positive, you're probably not far off. Okay? But it's a process. We have to work at it. We have to be serious about it. All right? So that's the review. So let's move on to letting go. So the father of Taoism, Lao Tzu, was credited with saying, when the master does nothing, nothing goes undone. So what does that mean? You just sit back and just sit around all day? No, not quite. What he's saying is if you're thinking and acting in alignment with the flow of the universe, then you're going to have a much better outcome. You're not going to be doing a lot of forced effort. You're not going to try to manipulate outcomes to suit you rather than what the universe is trying to achieve. And this is going to keep you in harmony with the flow. So things are going to happen more spontaneously and everything is going to be more efficient. All right. So that's what he was trying to say there. We'll talk more about this, obviously. So what does letting go really mean? Well, it's multifaceted. Okay. One aspect is accepting situations as they are. So even if they're painful, the pain shouldn't last too long because of the next thing down there, which is emotional release. So when you have a negative emotion, okay, if you dwell on it and you keep reliving it, of course, you're going to feel it for a long time. Many times, if you're stuck in it, and it could last for years, right? So it's critical to be able to process emotions and release them, not to harbor them. So negative emotions such as anger, resentment, and guilt, if you ignore them, they'll stay in your heart and you'll feel them again and again and again because they keep coming up. They won't go away. All right. So accept the situation for what it is, release emotions, and then don't get attached to the outcome. All right. So embrace the present moment. This is called living in the now, where you're just focused on now. You don't care about what happened yesterday or last month or last year or what may happen tomorrow or next month or next year. Those are outside of your control. You can't change the past and you don't know what's going to happen in the future. So focus on what you can control, which is the now. Okay, that's the idea. So one aspect of acceptance is trusting in the universe. Okay, so if you believe in a higher power, God, higher self, whatever you want to call it, then you probably believe that they are here to support us and help us, right? They're benevolent. They're good inherently. They're love, right? So if you believe that, then you have to know that the infinitely creative universe or God or higher power is going to have a much better plan for you than you will ever come up with, right? And so think of it as like a really complicated puzzle. You're you're praying to the universe, hopefully good thoughts and good actions, about who you are, what you're capable of, what you want, right? And the universe is trying to piece together all the puzzles from these people to see how they can best help each other, right? And the best um, process for that is to let the universe do it because it's pretty complicated. All you know about is yourself. You don't know about everybody else and what their hopes and dreams are, what their skills are, right? It's a pretty complicated thing. So it's better to surrender to divine guidance and trust that whatever happens is meant to happen. Okay? Just control what you can, which is yourself. Don't worry about controlling anyone else or the outcome. Okay? Another aspect of acceptance is releasing resistance. So, when you try to control an outcome, then you're kind of resisting trying to go with the flow. They kind of conflict with each other, right? Control versus flow. So if you cling tightly and you try to micromanage, anything that's going to happen, you're going to create a lot of friction, and it's actually going to stop what you are trying to achieve. Right? Think of it like as a vibrating wire. If you hold on to it very tightly, you're going to swing wildly with the wire, right? But if you loosen your grip, then the wire can travel and you're not going to be nearly moving as much, right? It's kind of like that. So the tighter you grip, the rougher the ride you're going to have, right? But if you let go, it's going to be a lot smoother for you. And it's also like trying to swim upstream, you know? If you're trying to go against the flow, you're going to work really hard and you may end up at a place you did not intend to be. Whereas if you go with the flow, with the stream, then you're going to have to work a lot less hard. And then you're going to end up wherever the universe intends you to be. Okay. Um, this will allow the energy to flow freely through you and through the universe. So the illusion of control. If you think you can control the outcome of things, you're mistaken. That's you're trying to convince yourself you can do it, right? And we can't control ourselves, so we're free to think, act, and feel however we like, right? But if you're trying to control the rest of it, you're trying to be the god of this world. Okay, and that sometimes doesn't go well. Like if you're trying to control um, the outcome of an exam, you might decide that you need to cheat, right, to get the outcome you want. And that's not in keeping with your higher self. You're going to have guilt, and that could turn into illness. Um, if you're trying to control someone else, words like manipulative, conniving, backstabbing come to mind. That's not keeping with your higher self either. So all of those um, acts will slow you down and hurt you in the long run and make your path a lot longer than it needs to be. Okay? So when you understand that control is an illusion and you let it go, then the burden is lifted off of you of everything you thought you needed to do. All you need to do is control yourself. And if that's a test, prepare for the test. Be ready for it. Do the best you can. Stop. Let the chips fall where they may. Okay? Personal empowerment. So it seems like an oxymoron, but when you give up control, it actually makes you a stronger person. Why? Because you're more in tune with yourself. You understand yourself better and you're more in alignment with your higher self as well. Okay? So it's really important that you are a powerful person by giving up control. All right? Let the universe, who's an expert at this, handle the outcome of things. Emotional release and healing. So letting go of the outcome also means letting go of emotions, right? Negative emotions specifically. So we're going to talk about this in a little bit more detail in the next slide, but basically, you don't want to suppress your emotions, negative emotions especially. Okay, so if you ignore them, don't want to acknowledge them, that's not good. It's like a nagging child. They're going to keep nagging until you give them attention, right? So give them attention to your emotions. Okay. Let them come up, understand where they came from, process them, and then release them. Okay. That's it. They don't have to be stuck in you for days or weeks or months. I have a video just on this subject called Removing Emotional Blockages. And there's a guided meditation on how to do it at the 10-minute, 30-second mark of that video. Okay. Check that one out if you haven't already. So emotional release is critical for spiritual healing and for advancement as well, raising your vibrational frequency. Okay. Because if you harbor the negativity, you're going to be wallowing in the lowlands of vibrational frequency, not in the highlands. So how do you let go of emotions? One, you have to acknowledge the feeling. So don't ignore it, right? Acknowledge it. I see, I feel you. I feel you. Jealousy, you're there. I feel you. Okay. Let it come up. Don't be afraid. Don't judge yourself. Okay. Don't suppress it. Then you have to understand why it's there. I understand why I was there. Jealousy. I was jealous of that person. They got something I didn't get, and I thought I deserved it. But that's okay. I know the universe has a plan that's better than my plan. You know, it's too early to judge. I don't have all the information to judge. So I'm going to let it go. Okay. And that's it. And then you let it go. Emotions, thoughts, they're energy. Let them flow. If you suppress them, you're just going to have a more difficult time, physically and emotionally. And do this process of meditating and releasing emotions daily. Okay. This is how you stay healthy, how you stay happy. And the main thing is to forgive yourself and forgive others. Okay. If you feel somebody has wronged you, you know, you have to understand you don't have all the information. They may be paying you back for past karma that you gave them, and they may owe you 10 more times. You have no idea. So don't try to judge, because you're going to come up with the wrong answer. All right. So just forgive them. Understand that there's more at play here than you can understand. You don't have all the information. Let it go. Don't harbor negativity towards them, because that will just hold you back and them. Okay. Non-attachment. Focus on the present moment. So this is called living in the now. And basically you're trying to give up control about obsessing about anything that's other than now, the past and the future. Don't worry about those things. You can't change the past. Nobody has any idea of what's going to happen in the future. Okay. Even if they say they do, they don't, because it's based on free will. All right. And nobody knows how anybody else is going to act until the time comes. So just worry about now. Worry about you in the now. That's it. So this way, you're going to keep in the flow of the universe, and you're going to be able to handle the challenges and opportunities much more fluidly, rather than trying to, do what you did in the past or worry about what may happen in the future. So non-attachment also allows you to make space for new opportunities. So you're going to let go of outdated beliefs, outdated thought patterns or behavior patterns. Okay. Relationships, you change over time. So if you start thinking a new way, let the old way go. If you go out, with a group of people and you don't feel comfortable anymore with them based on what they talk about, you keep rolling your eyes and you're not comfortable, maybe it's time to let them go. Okay. Bring new friends in that are in better alignment with the way you think and feel. So, by doing this, by shedding, you allow new opportunities, experiences, and people to come into your life that are better aligned with who you are now. Okay. So just take away what doesn't serve you anymore, and make room for what does. So there's a misconception out there that letting go means giving up. I don't care anymore. I'm not going to worry about it. That's definitely not it. Okay. It doesn't mean you don't care and you're not going to try. That's not letting go. It means you're going to do your best at whatever is coming up. You're going to prepare for the conference, right? You're going to understand who your audience is. You're going to prepare your speech and the the jokes that you're going to use to break the ice, all of that is the same. You're going to do your best, or you're going to prepare for the test. Okay. And then you're going to do your best when the event happens. And then after that, you stop. Don't worry about the outcome. It's happened. That's what it means. So don't be attached to the outcome. Okay. Because then you could do things that are not on the up and up. Okay. Control yourself. Let the chips fall where they may. So what are the benefits of letting go? Well, you're emotionally free. If the energy is flowing freely within you, you're not harboring negative emotions, you're going to feel so much better. Okay? Waking up and throughout the day, you're going to feel so much better. You're going to grow personally as well, right? From the experiences that you're reacting the right way. You're handling things properly. You're not trying to control what you can't control. You're going to have more peace, okay? Because you're not trying to control everything, and you're going to be more centered in alignment with your higher self. And you're going to develop spiritually, right? This is going to put you much farther ahead on the spiritual path because you're following the flow, going with the flow instead of against it. Okay? So you're going to have a much easier time. Happier, healthier, easier. We like all three. So, in summary, letting go does not mean giving up. Okay? It's a powerful practice to grow spiritually, and it will empower you. Okay? And you'll be aligned with your higher self, so you're going to be happier and healthier as a result. It requires faith and trust in the universe, okay, to put you where you need to be when you need to be there. Allow the universe, which is infinitely more creative than us, to come up with the solutions. Okay? This will give you greater peace, joy, and you'll be better aligned with your higher self. So I hope you enjoyed this topic. It is an important one on the spiritual path. It's not an easy one to master. I'm not going to tell you it's easy. Okay? But once you start taking baby steps and relinquishing control of the little things, then you can start and doing that for the larger and larger and larger ones until you get to the point where you're trusting the universe on the big stuff too. All right. So, if you like this topic, please give me a thumbs up so I know that this is in alignment with what you want. Feel free to share this video with others that you think it will help. And I appreciate you spending your time with me today. All right. So we'll see you again soon. Take care. Peace.